Okay, there is a new cashback card to tell you about, and it comes from PayPal. It is a debit card linked to their new membership scheme, PayPal Plus. For most of you, that debit card is going to be earning you 1% back on your purchases, which makes it one of the best cards out there right now. And in fact, there are ways, once you've earned those points, to increase the value of that cash back to 1.2, 1.3, if not 1.5%. There are also extra perks and savings that some of you will be able to get, assuming you spend enough on the card during the year. So how does this work? What is PayPal Plus? As I said, brand new scheme has launched in the middle of November, and it is completely free to join, whether you're on the entry level, which is the blue tier, or you manage to move up to the gold or the black tiers. There is no annual cost associated with any of those. Now, most of the time you're going to be able to earn these points, it's through using PayPal for your spending. There are a number of ways of doing this. There obviously is this new PayPal debit card. Now, this is the best way to use PayPal Plus. When you do this, you'll get a point for every pound that you spend. That's that 1% spending. If you're using the card, which you can order a physical one via the PayPal app, or using the one that's linked through to your Apple or Google Wallet via the app, really simple. You're just tapping it, you're spending it, and you get that full 1%. At the moment, there's no virtual card, but I think that is coming at some point. And at the moment, I can't see any way to actually access those card details on there. So if you need to enter your card details on, then you're going to be stuck for now, but hopefully that will change. But broadly speaking, 1% back, a great way to do this. Now, the other ways will get you a lot less, 0.1%. So if you use PayPal checkout, now this is the way most of us will probably usually use PayPal. You go to a retailer, lots of places will use it, some of them don't. But if you give the option to pay by PayPal, you click on that, as long as you've opted in to PayPal Plus, then you will get 1 point for every £10 that you spend. So that's 0.1%. Equally, if you're using PayPal credits, that could be a 0% finance they offer. It could be the pay in 3. You'd also get that 0.1%. So 1 point for every £10 that you spend. And finally, the other way to earn points, what they call it always on. So these things are not changing, they're not varying, they're always going to be on. Is you get a point for every £10 you spend by sending money abroad via PayPal. So those ones, 0.1%. On the whole, probably not worth it. You want to focus on that 1% back from the debit card. You have to order that as part of your kind of signing up process. Really simple to do it via the app. There's no credit check. You need to select your PIN as you do that. But again, really simple to do that. So I would definitely suggest you go for that one as the main way to spend. There is one little quirk here, though, that's worth pointing out to you right now, because you can also use your PayPal debit card when you use PayPal checkout. Now, that doesn't double up the cards available to you, but it is obviously a way for you to spend online right now if PayPal is accepted, because again, there are no details to type in yourself. Now, if you do this, if you don't have the full amount preloaded onto your PayPal account and it needs to access the money from your linked debit card or bank account, then you get a mix of cashback rates. So let's give you an example. Let's say you want to buy something that costs £10. You've got £5 of credit on your PayPal account. You go via PayPal checkout on this online website and use your PayPal debit card to pay. That first £5 will be covered at that 1% rate. But then because it needs to add money from your connected card or your connected bank account, it then defaults to doing that via PayPal checkout, which means you default back down to that 0.1%. So if you are going to be buying via PayPal checkout, via your PayPal debit card, make sure you preload in advance how much you want to spend, the cost of that particular item you're going to shop with, okay, to get that full 1%. Bizarrely, this doesn't happen if you're out and about using the card and you're shopping with it physically, or the Apple Pay, whatever it might be, and it's taking the balance from your connected card. You'll still get the full 1%. It's a bit weird you've got that quirk between them, but it's something really important to bear in mind if you're going down that route. So some good news as well is when you're earning these points is you will earn them on partial spending as well. So you spend 40p, okay, with your debit card, and that means you will get 0.4 points, which is great because a lot of cards will only give it to the full pound. Sometimes it's a £5, it rounds up, whatever it might be. This is partial. And obviously you can't use those until you've got more partial points to take you over the full penny equivalent. But it means every penny you spend, you will be earning money back, which is great. So really nice to see that. It's also really interesting. This card is fee-free to use overseas, both for purchases and cash withdrawals. So you'll be earning that 1% on your holiday spending, which is probably making it one of the best holiday or spending abroad cards right now as well. But these are not the only ways to earn some points. You can also get additional offers, which will vary from time to time. You'll find them in the app. It's probably worth turning on any email notifications as well, so any things that come along, you don't miss them if you're not regularly in that PayPal app to check them. So there are specific merchant offers. I haven't seen any of these just yet, but you imagine that's going to be what we're already familiar with for the likes of American Express, or the cashback deals sometimes linked to current accounts and other credit cards. So, get 15% off when you spend £100 at this retailer. I imagine that's what it's roughly going to be like, something like that. Which, if you want to shop with those particular brands, then that's great news. Again, bit hit and miss, but if the one's there when you need it, then that can be really good. You can earn points through refer a friend offers if they've not got a PayPal account at all right now. There's something called shopping challenge offers. Haven't seen any of these yet. Don't know what they are. I imagine they're going to be shop at 5 different retailers in this particular month to earn X number of extra points, or spend £1,000 this month to get an extra bonus, things like that. But again, we haven't seen any of those just yet. There are also a couple of extra ways to earn points if you are on one of the higher tiers, those gold or black tiers. So one of them is a subscription cashback. Again, not a huge amount of details on this or which subscriptions count, how they kind of, so imagine at some point they'll publish a list for which ones you can get this with. But I currently pay for Spotify, for example, via PayPal. If you are on the gold tier, then you can earn up to £12.50 a month or £150 a year in points. And if it's black members, then you can get capped at £16.66 a month or £200 a year back for paying with subscriptions. Obviously, you'd need to spend a lot on those subscriptions to get that amount back, but that's really good to see a little extra there. There's also something called Checkout Friday. Now, Checkout Friday is the first Friday of every month, again, only for gold and black tier members. And this is where if you basically spend £10 on as a gold member, cumulatively, it doesn't be in one go, it can be across a number of different things, then you'll get 1,000 points back, which is worth a tenner. But for black members, that's double to £20 back, or 240 quid a year max. So you can see how, if you are taking advantage of all of those things, that for a free cashback card, these are great little extras to have, and really should hopefully rack up your points as the year goes on, and your returns. That is, of course, as we get to in a moment, if you can qualify for those additional tiers. Something else worth talking about here is exclusions. Now, the terms and conditions on PayPal Plus and on debit card, in terms of this cashback, it's not an exhaustive list, but they mention a few things. They talk about domestic personal transactions, money transfers to and from third-party providers or third-party account funding activities, payments related to lotteries, casinos, sports betting, fantasy sports, social gaming, or other forms of gambling, pawn shops, and dating services. So it does say this isn't a full list, so there might be other things they do exclude. It's a shame they haven't given that full list right now. It does say to contact PayPal to find out if something is going to be excluded or not. Interesting, it doesn't talk about some of the things that you often see excluded. It doesn't talk about buying a car or paying a tax bill, things like that. Again, I imagine they would be excluded because they are everywhere else. But again, it doesn't say anything like that at the moment. So that's how you earn the points and the extra savings you can get from them. What are they worth? Well, as I said, it's worth 1% if you are on the blue tier and you're using your debit card. The gold tier, the redemptions, when you've got your points and you use them to buy something, you get a 20% boost. So that 100 points, rather than being worth £1, is now worth £1.20. If it's the black tier, there's a 30% boost. So those 100 points are worth £1.30. And this is kind of, you would go to make a purchase with PayPal and you would select pay with points, and you could select how many you want to use. And you could pay partially if you want to. So you can pay partly with points and partly with, again, whatever kind of funding you've got, whether it's a balance you've added to PayPal or one of your connected cards that are linked to, or accounts linked to your PayPal account. And this increases again on gold and black to 50% boost if you use it to spend it on groceries, dining out, or takeaways. So you get effectively, for 100 points, you get £1.50. So ultimately, if you've got these points and you're on gold or black, the best way to spend them will be on those kind of areas, if you can, of course. And that might be, again, kind of slightly limited and restricted there because you have to be using the PayPal app to make that purchase, PayPal checkout effectively. You can't obviously do it with the card and redeem them with the card. These rates they've got are guaranteed until the end of 2026 at least. So that's good to know. It could obviously change after that, but this means it's going to be a good earner for at least another year and a bit. Of course, that's again talking about the value of them. If you are, again, the points are worth whatever they are. But the equivalent I gave you before, that kind of 1% back or 1.5%, whatever it might be. Again, that is assuming you're using a debit card. Remember, it will be lower if you have also earned the points from the other kind of ways of doing it, the PayPal checkout, or maybe some of the welcome bonuses somewhere in between. Now, to qualify for those tiers with those extra valuations when you redeem your points or those extra ways to earn some money, you obviously have to spend. And you have to spend a decent chunk. So you need to earn 25,000 points in a year to qualify for gold, and you need 50,000 points to qualify for black. Now that's cumulative. So if you earn 25, you don't then have to earn another 50 to hit black. It's 25 and then another 25,000 on top of that. Now that is actually a lot of points to earn if you are earning them at 1 point for every £10 that you spend. It's going to take you a long time. In fact, it would cost you 250 grand just to get yourself onto gold in a year, which is, let's face it, not going to happen. But if you are getting a point for every pound that you spend, then it's a more achievable £25,000. Now that is still a lot of money. It's just over 2 grand every single month that you'll need to be spending, which if you are transferring all of your spending across to PayPal's debit card, you hopefully will hit that, I imagine, just with things like groceries, transport, other bits that you purchase. And since it's a MasterCard, you're not going to fall into that problem where something isn't accepted. Although obviously, as we've discussed already, you might find some online retailers, if you don't have the card details that you can type in yourself and it doesn't have a PayPal checkout, you might not be able to use that. But most places, most people, I think you can do that and you can hit that total. To get the black version though, the black tier, that's 50 grand in a year. That is a lot, 4 grand, more than 4 grand every single month. So I think that's only going to be really, really high spend if you've got a really big purchase you want to make, or potentially some of those other offers that will top this up that we don't know about right now. They might be ways to earn you more points as you go along. But if you are not using that debit card, as I say, you're never going to hit that. 25,000 points in a year is 250 grand at 1 point for every £10 spent. So that is, not going to happen at all. Now, this qualification period lasts a calendar year. So in a year, as soon as you hit a tier, you will get it for the rest of that year and the rest of the following year. So let's say you manage to spend a lot of money for whatever reason by May 2026, you will stay at gold until the end of 2027. Okay, so it's not just a few months at the end of the year, you get it for a full year plus whatever's left of the year you earned it in. But every year your points will reset. So then you'll start earning for the year after that and so on. Now this first year that it's launching, you'll actually earn in November and December 2025 will be part of that earning period for the whole of 2026 as well. So you've got a bit more time to reach those levels. Now, if you don't spend enough in a year to continue at a higher tier level, you will drop back down to blue. So again, there's something they want to keep you spending with the PayPal Plus in order to keep you getting those extra perks, which again, I think are pretty generous. They sound generous, at least to start off with. So it's certainly something to consider. Now, if you are thinking about moving all your money across to PayPal, a couple of things to think about here. I wouldn't put too much of a balance on there straight away because your money isn't protected by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. So only put small amounts along as you need to. I mean, this is how I operate with my Trading 212 card right now. I'll put some money across and then I'll top it up as I go along as I need more money on there. I certainly would be doing that with PayPal in particular. But also, you'll lose your Section 75 protection if you are using this instead of a credit card. You'll also lose your Section 75 protection if you are linking with a lower rate, that 0.1% cashback, but you're using a cashback card for it because PayPal breaks that Section 75, that legal protection there. So you might not want to make all your purchases despite that higher cashback rate with the PayPal debit card or just PayPal itself. You might want to be sticking to directly with your Amex, your Barclays card, whatever it might be. Equally, you might want to stick with those other cards if there's other benefits that come with those spending. Again, I'm thinking here about those really boosted welcome offers you get from American Express. Again, you can absolutely connect that to PayPal Plus and get that lower 0.1% because you earn your points you'll get from your Amex card or whatever it might be, plus that little bit extra. I wouldn't necessarily want to swap it to the PayPal debit card because again, that will mean you're not spending enough in order to trigger those bonuses. Similarly, if you're trying to get a companion voucher from the British Airways, American Express, or the Avios Barclays card, or things like that, the Virgin one. So you've got to bear that in mind if you are going to use this PayPal Plus. Do you want to actually get the higher rate with a debit card, or you want it, will that mean you'll miss out on other perks elsewhere? So I know I've covered a lot there. A couple of other quick things to share. So what's my take on it? Is it worth it? Definitely worth signing up for it. If you use PayPal anyway, you may as well earn these points, even if it's just occasionally. They don't expire unless you don't earn any points or use any points within 3 years. So you can very easily, every 3 years, make sure you've got a note there to remind yourself just to buy something with PayPal to get another point, and it will keep all the old ones live as well. So there's no harm doing that at all. I definitely think it's worth looking at that debit card as well to get 1% back, home and abroad. Very, very difficult to beat that right now. The American Express Nectar card matches it, but there is a £30 annual fee with that. The Train 212 card sometimes is boosted to a higher 1.5%. The offer right now is due to end this month in November. Now that could be extended. It's been extended a few times, but it does have that £15 cap every single month. So you're still only limited to earning at 1.5% on the first £1,000 you spend. So this would be a great second card to have. And the other cards with 1%, Chase, the Santander Edge Explorer, for example, again, they're capped every single month and they're limited to certain purchases, groceries and some travel. So for most of your spending, unless you are, let's say, going for one of those big welcome offers that you get from Amex and such, this is probably going to be one of the better ways to do most, if not all, of your spending. So definitely worth thinking about that debit card. There are a couple of exceptions here as well, potentially not many, where you could get more by not using the debit card. The main one here probably is the John Lewis Partnership Credit Card for spending at John Lewis online via PayPal checkout, because you get 1.25% back on your John Lewis purchases via that card, because he knows you're shopping with John Lewis, because that's the way you're clicking through for them. But you also get that 0.1% on top. So that'd be an equivalent of 1.35%. But there aren't many like that, which are merchant specific, which will give that higher boost above 1% to combine them together. The Train 212 card, again, that 1.5%, doing that via PayPal, if you can do that, will give you, again, 1.6%. So obviously that's going to be higher. So there are going to be some exceptions, but on the whole, for most people, this is probably the simplest way to go about it. And if you can get yourself onto gold, if not black, then that also could potentially be worth another 100, 200 quid a year, particularly that Friday checkout thing. The subscription thing could be really useful as well. So certainly worth looking at that. Now, these ones, I should say, they won't actually start until January. But again, you've got to spend, say, 25k most likely to trigger that. So it's going to be a while before you're getting to that in terms of earning that money from those ones. But if you can get onto them, it sounds for a free card like a really good extra. More information about this card, my full review, over at becleverwithyourcash.com. My name's Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. Check out these videos here for more ways to make the most of your money.